about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a discount? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was great sounds of Watts with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. Easy BlueZ, you're always great with introductions. Who do we have on the broadcast again today? Go ahead.
See, we talk about this a lot about, being art, living your art, and truly embracing who you are as an artistic person. And to be honest with you, I don't think there is somebody that we know that embraces it in every single aspect more than our next guest. Our next guest can take an art form and take it from a painting to a piece of music to some food to actually the garments in which you wear on yourself. And for that alone, I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving. Please keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need any accidents. But mentally, I want you to put your hands together for the fantastic, the amazing, the absolutely supercalifragilisticexpialidocious T. Montgomery is here with us today.
Oh, shucks. Great. Thank you.
Nah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But, it's so true because, you're not just a single artist. A single form artist. You're an artist in multi forms, multi genres, different aspects, and you're continuing to evolve and move forward. And that evolution is really incredible to sit and watch. Whether it be from just the growth from your first interview to where we are now. You had your incredible launch. You had that amazing tasting with the launch itself, and stuff that went down. What is it like now that you're actually gearing up to kind of expand?
It feels like each new level that I reach is like starting over and having to learn everything else new again. And so while, initially that sounds extremely challenging and it can be troubling for some, I think it keeps the excitement going. Because there's always something new. There's always a new creative solution to find. There's always something to learn and new people to meet. So it really makes it an interesting journey. And what I've come to discover for me is more about the journey of this than anything else. Kind of just seeing what I'm capable of and what I can come up with. So yeah, it's like starting a new level each time.
And you actually have a new level that's going to be getting released, I think, next week, right?
Yep. So you guys know I started as a custom business, making one-of-ones by commission. And on this journey, figuring out what I want to do, where I want to take my life, I recognize that I can make a living, maybe a decent living, doing one piece at a time. I can pay some bills, but I can never, if I take 2 weeks off, I'm really going to feel it. And so I had to start thinking of ways, thinking about my legacy, thinking about what I'm building, what I'm leaving my son and who he creates, thinking about creating a system that can kind of run itself and I can enjoy life as opposed to just working my whole life. So just sorting through all of this had me thinking about my business and where I was taking it and what I want to do with it and then scaling up with it. And so again, I realized I can make a living doing one piece at a time, but I could never be wealthy by doing it that way. And the way to get wealth from this type of business is scaling up, making it more accessible, putting product in more hands, on more bodies, having more people seeing it, talking about it. There's but so many hours in a day that I can dedicate to creating, which means that there's a literal stop to what I can produce myself. And in order to produce more, to have product on hand, to do these store placements and all that, I need help.
Right.
So what I've been doing is solidifying some of my designs. Like the shirt that I have on is a t-shirt, it's TEA shirt. So just thinking about accessible products that everyone wears, that's an easy purchase while also maintaining, who we are and the essence of a house-made garment. So the t-shirt still made in my studio, except now I can teach people how to make this. So I don't have to do more myself. So if I make 10 in a day, now we can have 30, 40 made in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm learning that business and what that takes. And again, it's a completely different business model than a custom business, which is a completely different model than just selling art.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey now, yeah, is just discovering this process and learning it and figuring out a way to scale up, to continue to be successful while maintaining who we are and how we do things. And my simple answer for that is to create these designs like this cut of my shirt in a way where I can teach my seamstresses. And so it's still my product, it's still my art, but now I have help with it. So that's really what I'm going with that now. And so the launch next week, it's going to be these t-shirts. I have them in 4 colors. I meant to grab one so I can show you, but
it's never too late.
You're wearing it. You're wearing it right now. You can stand up. It'll be fine.
This one is one of the simple models.
Okay.
Oh,
that's cool.
The screen print.
Yeah.
Which is another art that I'm playing with and different ways to manipulate that. And then
okay.
Put one of them.
Oh. So that's pretty neat. That's neat.
That's actually me.
Oh, wow.
Shoot that I did for Ethos. And so I'm going to start with 4 different images. So this one, there's a larger one. There's a woman that I'm going to use, and then still deciding the 4th image.
Right.
So we'll have them in 4 different colors. Now that it's getting cooler outside, I'm also going to have the long sleeves. And just by talking to people about this product, I've already pre-sold some. So I feel really good about it. And I feel like, it's a good step into the direction that I'm looking to go. So I'm just excited to see what I can do with it. Hopefully continue to make the right decisions and continue to grow.
That's awesome. First of all, the shirt looks great. And,
it does.
You said it's going to be dropping next week. So obviously, we're going to have a conversation next month because I would love to put that as part of my stage attire. It would show off. It would show off the troubadour tattoo perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes a lot of sense for something like that for me. Plus, having it as a stage attire, bringing your brand on stage with me as I support my brand makes more sense because my brand is all about, everything that is New Haven should be highlighted. So it definitely. So we will have a conversation, and you'll not that you intended to have that being worn by some tattooed pale dude, but it's gonna happen anyway, and that'll be fantastic. But as you are scaling up, and what has been one of the biggest hurdles that has been really for you?
No, I didn't come into this with a plan of anything that I'm doing right now, actually. I got my bachelor's in marketing. I got my master's in entertainment business management. And, my goals were just different. I wanted to be in an entertainment business. My goal was to be a talent agent and then maybe eventually get my law degree to be a representative of talent and, continue through that. I don't know if you guys ever watched Entourage.
Of course I did.
No, absolutely.
Come on now. The Bob Saget episodes are by far my favorite.
Yeah, so Ari, that show came out like when I was in the mix of figuring it out. So Ari was one of my favorite characters, and what he was doing exactly what I wanted to do. So that's the direction that I was taking my life. Then I ended up getting in corporate because I needed a job. Then I had my baby at 23, so I just really
Mhm.
got money. Y'all know how life works. So
Yeah.
anyway, I went that corporate route, and then it just wasn't for me. And so the journey ever since was really just trying to figure out how to make a living being myself, using my
Right.
actual talents and gifts, things that I'm good at, things that, don't feel like work. And so that's really what brought me, one of the paths that brought me into doing what I'm doing now. So I guess the long answer to the challenges is every single day I'm learning how to operate in this space that I'm in.
Right.
And I'm learning what I'm finding is there's so much that I don't know.
Right.
And I guess that's the first step, is recognizing that we don't really know anything. And so figuring out what I need to know, who I need to know. Like New York Fashion Week was last week. I wasn't there at all.
Mhm.
And because I don't really have the connections out there to tell me come to this show. So
Mhm.
that's another thing, is like now I know I need to meet the type of people who can bring me in those spaces, even just to attend and learn, get some game. So yeah, I guess the biggest challenges are really not knowing what I don't know. But then again, the challenges is what excites me and keeps me going. So it's also a blessing at the same time.
Right.
Being a one-man team for something that's growing quickly and large is a challenge. So figuring out how to delegate,
Right.
literally creating these roles that I'm going to need to hire for. So I'll give you an example. I had to do a final report for the Artist Corps grant that I won last year.
Mhm.
And, while I'm typing it, I'm also like making shirts at the same time, coming back
Mm.
in the table and the laptop as I'm sorting my thoughts to type and go back to the shirt. But what would be really helpful is if I had an assistant
Mhm.
that I can dictate the answer to, and they type it while I'm doing whatever else I got to do.
Right.
So that's just one of the things that I learned would be helpful for me in building a team. So just learning that stuff, learning, where I actually want to take this. Because again, I didn't come in with this being the plan. And so each step and each new level, each new thing I try is all an experiment. Don't know if I'm doing it right, if I'm making the right moves. I mean, I guess things like you guys wanting to talk to me and winning that award the other day is evidence
Yeah.
of
Congrats
right.
on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, yeah, that's my answer. That's my answer as far as those challenges.
No, that's a great answer, because it's more of that holistic aspect, where you are taking the entire process to understand that we don't how much we don't know, and how much we need to learn, and how much we need to grow, and how important that education really is, and whether it be education you get in a classroom or education you get in the real world,
Mhm.
it is so super important. So that is the potential for growth, and not even just growth in the marketing aspect of it, but in the internal growth of maturity that you need, is so super 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 important. How do you manage and balance so that you're still having fun, though?
That's another challenge for me right now, actually,
Hmm.
because what I used to do for fun, like creating
Hmm.
art, is now work.
Right.
And so I'm in the process of finding what fun is for me now,
Hmm.
Mm.
finding new things to enjoy, new things to calm my mind and give me peace. I still like to create. I think I need to find a new art medium that I can just create without thinking of getting paid for it.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe I'll start painting more, but then I don't know. I'll find what that new art is or the new thing that I can create. Like I enjoy cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Cooking for me is just like making music or making the wearable art or painting or anything like that. It's just
What's
to
your
me,
best dish?
my best dish.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got some world famous dishes here.
Oh, world famous. Okay, I'm listening.
Um,
He's speaking to Preston's stomach.
And
all
heart.
right. All right. So one of my comfort meals is shepherd's pie.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I remember when I was little, my nana, my great grandmother used to make it, and then my mom made her version. So then I had to make my own version when I started. I think I have the best version now.
Okay.
Um, shepherd's pie is one of those feel good things I make. I'm really good with sauces.
Sauces.
Like
Okay.
grill. I like a mean red snapper. I make a good brown stew red snapper.
All right.
It's I'll say it's Caribbean influenced
Mm-hmm.
more so than like it's not a Caribbean dish. It's definitely my dish, but inspired. What else? Honestly, I haven't made a bad dish.
All right. I like the
The only
confidence.
time I can remember making something I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
is when I was in undergrad and I bought this pack of like Thai curry. I
Ooh,
don't know.
Thai is really good. Love Thai food.
Me too, but I didn't like that pack. So that's the only thing I can remember. And I think it's because I didn't make it from scratch. If I would have made it from
Okay. Okay. Yeah, usually stuff from packages is very disappointing sometimes.
yeah,
Usually,
yeah.
I understand that fact. I know you did mention paintings. Is that one of your paintings behind you?
No.
Okay.
Um, I think my dad bought this actually.
All right.
I was gonna say it's me in frog form.
So my dad is working on some
I just
characters.
got that one.
Actually, he is.
A little bit, yeah, yeah.
My dad is working on a project with frogs, and he's an artist as well. My
Oh, that's
mom's
cool.
an art baby. So I think this is like a homage to his project. It like inspired him or something.
Nice.
I didn't do that one, no, but other places in the house you'll find some
Nice.
Yeah.
stuff for sure. But what else I do, to help with my stresses,
Mm-hmm.
I like to be near running water.
Okay, it's very relaxing.
Yeah, so I got this, and view spots. I like view spots. So I have a few around the city that I go to. There's one right by my studio. So actually, after this, I'm gonna go sit by that river and then go to work. But that's really something that calms me, but it also just helps me to sort my thoughts. And the way that I look at a view spot, when the last time you guys been on top of East Rock?
It's been a hot minute, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know the view, you can see the entire city.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see a view like that, I look at it as a map.
Right.
And then my goals would be at the furthest end of that map.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use the view to figure out my route to get to those goals. That's the best analogy I can make on how like that view correlates to my thought process. But yeah, just taking time to kind of sit still and have a moment. I think sitting and eating my food when it's hot it was a big area of opportunity for me.
Right.
I'm always just on the
It's a
go.
luxury.
Yeah, yeah. So being able to just sit and eat it and like have to blow on it.
Yeah.
Like even those small moments like that really matter.
Right.
As opposed to just having to rush through everything and get so much done. So yeah, I'm just trying to take just more still time.
Right.
For to keep myself sane.
Yeah. We all need that. We're human beings. We're always trying to find a mental balance just for everything. Because everything can come to you all at once when it's life. It's crazy. I remember the last guest that we just talked to, he's doing a mental balance right now, just because he had everything piled onto himself all at one time. So a lot of creators and a lot of entrepreneurs get like that, just as yourself. You know, you feel like a lot of stuff is coming at you all at one time, and just to mentally process and take that going in life is very hard. But I think you do it very well. You won the award, and you say you're trying to find a path. I think you're on the right path as we speak, because like a lot of stuff has just been documented. But one thing I didn't see just throughout my research and my preparation of this interview, because I'm a little jealous, by the way. You two had a great conversation first time. I'm very disappointed I didn't get a chance to see that. But no, it was very interesting. It was very great conversation between you guys. You guys knocked out the park. But no, no doubt, man. I got a great colleague that I do this broadcast with. But it just comes to mind just as you talk about this on the show. As an idea of photos by T come to mind, because you visualize stuff just like going throughout New Haven and just going throughout your everyday life. Has that come to you just as a photographer? Is that an
Visual
idea?
tea. Are you going to be giving a new element of visual tea?
That's a better way to say it. That's a better way to say it.
I got you.
Yes, a new element. All right, I'll tell you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I just bought myself a really, really nice camera.
Nice. That's awesome.
And the goal was that it's the studio camera, so I won't need to hire someone every time I need a product shot or anything like that. But then exploring more of, the new mediums of art, storytelling, and the expression of it. Like you guys know about ethos, so ethos being a fully immersive experience, having wearable art, having the culinary, the music, the event experience of it, but then there's also the visual aspect. So what I want to do, or what I'm building on, is a mini movie.
Okay.
With
cool.
ethos. So it'll be 5 mini visual experiences. The song is going to be the soundtrack and the narration of it. So the actors won't be speaking, but it'll be more through movement and flow and action, like what's actually happening. It probably won't happen with ethos. I'm going to have a pet project at some point where I am recording it and editing it and styling everyone in it, and the music is me and all of that. So that's I guess a dream project of mine is to have that where it's literally just all me. And then I want to put it in film festivals or something like that.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
That's one way that I'm going to start playing with that. I don't necessarily see myself doing the photography.
Okay.
However, there's a lot of things I didn't think I'd end up doing. So.
That is true on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Go ahead, T. My apologies.
No, that was actually the perfect moment to put that.
He's like, I got to get a drink and everything. It worked out well. No, but see, this is one of those incredible things, because you are talking about, in this latest endeavor, you're getting to the point where you're branching out to getting extra people to help get seamstresses and different things like that. And now you're talking about another project where you want to be, the head grip and the director, the writer, so I think that's really incredible. As you continue to evolve, you're leaving that next step so that you're staying grounded, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, maybe I will dabble in photography, because finding playing with the screen printing and the ways to manipulate it and you know what images I'm gonna do, things like that.
Right.
Like when I showed you on my back, took a photo of myself and edited it to the point where it can translate well. I think I would like to do more of that, actually.
And it's funny because that's exactly what I thought about when you mentioned photography was, oh my goodness, you're going to go to some of your scenery spots and you're going to take that picture and then you're going to manipulate it to give you to show that map that's necessary.
Yeah.
Which I just think it makes sense within your story that is already being told, that is like a similar evolution so that it can work in with the screen printing and those different aspects as well. So I kind of foresaw that. I'm just gonna be real.
That is true. Just thinking about it, I've been seeing some pretty dope stuff. Like I was by my river and there's trees over top, and the way the light was shining in through the leaves kind of looked like veins.
Mm-hmm.
It was dope. So I thought that would be a great image, either to have screen printed or to actually. Another thing that I want to get into is dyeing and printing
Mm-hmm.
out the fabric myself or
Right.
in-house. So I was thinking of images like that as well. Like imagine, I don't have anything I can grab, but just imagine a dope image, but on all the fabric instead of just like one piece of it.
Right. So it's in full form from shoulder to end seam,
Yep.
and not just in the centerpiece of it, or like in my new MF Doom shirt where it's just like where my solar plexus are.
Yep. Yep. Well, I actually like this hat. So like
Right.
all of
That's
that
cool.
piece. So yeah, starting to do this, but with images, yeah. So that's another way for me to dabble. Maybe I'll try that this week.
This is the man that will watch back this interview and take notes on some of the things that we just said, just because it is that next evolution. It's when you can sit and talk with people that have inspiration, and you can grow from that aspect. Now, as you are prepping up and you're taking care of the one avenue, and you're going back and you're making sure that the other avenues are going to be there for you. How are you prioritizing?
Another area of opportunity. One way is to focus in on a few things as opposed to trying to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's that, and that's been extremely helpful. I mean, even growing this wearable art business and where it is now is a result of me focusing in on something as opposed to trying to do everything. And so I focused in on this so I can build the foundation on this, and then I can put the music and the food and visual arts and all that on top of that foundation. So
Mm-hmm.
again, focusing on the few as opposed to the many, I guess micro as opposed to macro has been helpful. Also, of course, the timeline. So, some things need to be done quicker,
Mm-hmm.
the way it is. So there's that, I guess, levels of importance. But then also, we feel like everything we have going on is important. But even in the list of our important things, there's an order to it. So looking to pay attention to that order of things. This might be like 2 years ago now. I painted one of my walls in my studio. I put the blackboard paint
Mm-hmm.
so I can use that for my notes and stuff.
Yep.
Just used it for the first time like last month. But for some reason, it took me forever to find the chalk markers.
Right.
I finally found some, and it was a great day. But so yeah, so I wrote the list of things that I need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 10 immediate things. And then I try to break them down by colors, and I've been checking them off as I go. So having a checklist also, it's not something that I've practiced before that I'm putting into now. And that also helps me to stay focused and get in a sense of accomplishment, and also to remember things that can fall off. Uh, yeah, those are pretty much the methods I've been using right now, and
Right.
continue to discover new ways to stay on top of it.
And having a list like that in like right in front of your face, in that you can, actually go up to the wall and check it off, and or cross it off. There's such an incredible feeling for that. There's something that I do in my classroom, where I have this big sign that says "Believe," and it's actually from Ted Lasso. And I make the kids, when they walk in, they have to hit the "Believe" sign, because when they walk into my room, they believe in themselves, and when they walk out of my room, they have to hit the "Believe" sign again, so they know that they can believe in themselves when they walk out of my room. It's something that's so super important when you have those stimuli. That is right there, that help motivate you. Now, we're getting a lot of talk about the future, but again, I want to jump back into the now, and the now being really the next week. If we were talking about it, you said you have 4 different colors. Is there a way you can expand a little bit on those colors, or is that something that we have to hold in the clip?
Yeah,
Please let us know.
I can definitely share them. So I have black, white. There's a desert sage, dusty rose. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick, and if it'll translate over the
Interwebs.
I have faith. I have complete faith.
So
okay.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's the clearest we've seen of Photoshop on this show.
Yeah, word.
that one,
That's nice.
This one has it's glow in the dark. Actually, I need to get the glow image of this so people can see on the site.
Nice.
I have on. No, that's not the one I have on. This is larger. This is glow in the dark as well, though.
Okay.
This is
a green color for glow in the dark?
Yeah, it's like it's like a bluish green.
All right, cool.
And it glows green, yeah.
How hard is that to do for fabric glow in the dark? I always wondered about that.
It's not hard. It's
okay.
Just using correct fabric paint for it.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
Screen printing paint. So what makes there's the difference, like so this red, I haven't tried this red yet, but I tried a burgundy
right
on the black fabric. Translate well.
Right.
Actually, underneath this, you won't be able to see it in this image, but underneath this is the burgundy, and you couldn't really see it, so I did the glow over.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Makes sense.
Pretty cool.
And then this is both, nope, not that one. The top is
cool. That's
the
cool.
rose, and then the bottom is the sage.
Nice.
And then eventually I'm gonna put some of these pants out too.
Nice.
With the shirts.
Very good. Nice.
Now you say you're a one-man team?
Well, not anymore. Now I have one.
Okay.
But all right. And that's fairly recent. We're actually doing our first project right now.
Okay, cool.
All the shirts out, and then she's gonna zip them up for me. Teaching my son actually how to do the pressing for me, so then he can press.
That's awesome.
Just keep going from there.
Yeah, you gotta pass it down you gotta pass down your knowledge. You have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
A way for us to spend time together.
Yeah, man.
And really, like I remember, he's a freshman. I remember freshman year wanting some money of my own. Friends are able to buy their clothes and stuff. That's where you start really finding yourself. And so I'm also trying to teach him some ways where he can make himself some money in school.
Right.
And he draws and creates characters, so we can
put
his characters on his shirt.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Sell it, So that's what I'm trying to go with that.
If you don't mind me asking, because I actually have sophomores that are at co-op. What school is he at co-op?
No, he's in Hamden.
Hamden High. Okay.
Yeah.
Word. Well, I was hoping he was in co-op, because I was like, well, good. Now I'll tell my kids these are people you need to network with.
I was teaching at co-op.
Oh, you were? That's cool.
Yeah. I taught there for 2 years. Great experience. Those kids are amazing.
Nice.
They really are. So talented. Walking those halls is just the inspiration, seeing all the work that they've done.
Yep.
And you hear people singing randomly walking down the halls, some of the best voices you ever heard. That's awesome. They're doing great things.
So the future's in good hands.
Yep.
Now for your boy, is he exact height as you or is he taller?
It's 1 inch away from me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think over the next few months he's gonna get me, and I know he's gonna be taller than me.
Well, I got you because my guys are about the spot where they're about to be taller than me. And I'll tell you what my grandfather used to tell me and my uncles: height is not the measurement of a man.
True.
And so every time they're like, "Yo, I'm bigger," I was like, height is not the measurement of a man. And they're like, "Well played, Dad. Well played. Well played, Dad."
That's a bar.
Yeah, but they always know who dad is.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll always you cannot replace a father. They'll always know who the dad is.
Yes, sir.
But that's cool. You're passing it down to your kid, and he can put his own designs on the shirt and like pants, whatever he wants, and that's really cool. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome for bonding time. Now, have you been to any part of like fashion shows within the state of Connecticut that you have had your material in?
Yeah, definitely. I've done a lot. Believe it or not, I don't really like doing fashion shows.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah. That's surprising.
Few different views on why.
Okay.
Like if someone is just throwing it together or they want to do a little fashion show as a part of some other event, like those don't really work for me.
Okay.
That's what I've learned. Like I do it and it's a whole day or two of work. And some of them might not even announce my brand. So I'm just
really?
So like those type of experiences I stay away from. The more professional, larger ones that come with an audience or great photos, video, things like that are more helpful to the brand, I can be a part of. But yeah, let me see. So this year, I don't know how many I've done this year. The most recent was the Black Wall Street in August.
Yep. Okay.
That Cedar Park.
Yep. We were just talking about Cedar Park, and how they created the runway, at Cedar Park. So it's great that we can kind of branch that. Like, see, here's another person that was there. They saw it as well.
They did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Production of it.
I think that's incredible. And I kind of want to take a second and have the people understand what you just said. Now that, it is like that in every type of industry, especially in the arts world, where, your homeboys can be throwing something together, but if it's not organized, if it's not run right, if it's not highlighting what's necessary, you have to make some choices that are going to be what's best for your brand. And that could hurt your homeboys' feelings, but at the end of the day, it's got to be what's best. How do you feel, when you're making those choices, or when you discovered that you had to, like, I kind of vibe at a higher frequency. I need to keep vibing at that higher frequency. How did you break ties like that?
Got to be okay with saying no, especially if it doesn't make sense for you. But it doesn't have to be a hard no. So while I may not want to exhibit in this particular show, maybe I can help organize a little better, or I can give you some connections to help run it. So if I decline, I at least, try to give something.
Right.
And I think being who I am and who I'm becoming, sounds kind of crazy to say, but I do have a wealth of knowledge and resources, and I really want to give it and share it. So I really just try to do that in any aspect that I can, and that doesn't always have to include me, being on the forefront of it.
Right.
So yeah, but also my it's not that I just don't like doing fashion shows. It's my exhibition style is just different. I prefer to do it in a gallery setting. Fashion shows can sometimes be a fleeting moment.
Right.
Like once the model walks by, that could be the last time you ever see something like that. And you might miss it if you're looking in a different space. So anyway, I like people to be able to actually experience it, to see it, to look at the seams, to look at how the colors come together, the shape. And you can't always do that with someone just walking by. So yeah, so I prefer exhibition style. Amazing fashion shows I love. I don't just completely dislike them. It just has to make sense. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the key things. And for someone who is as performance based as you are, and that really shows in all the different aspects of your art, I can completely understand how you would want more of the spectacle, and where you would want more of that highlight aspect. You're taking more advantage of the time that is there, and making it an all immersive experience is so super important, because that is the difference. Look, I have seen some incredible suits out there, don't get me wrong, but those suits that I've been able to put my hands on and touch, one, I know that is now, it is achievable for me to purchase that. And two, you get to feel what the real quality is. And it's so super important, because, it deals with all of your senses. And you are someone who looks at every single sense as you are creating. So that makes the most amount of, as like 9 times I said sense, but that makes the most amount of sense, if I'm being honest.
Yep. And you got to think about it. Like this journey, all about the side missions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, the side missions, they could really make all the difference, even more so than the main mission. But choosing the right side missions that are going to elevate you and increase, your strength or your abilities or opportunities or anything like that. What I've really been looking at this more and more, everything that I'm doing, it really and truly is a game, and playing it like one. And so, yeah, choosing the right missions and side missions makes, a difference in all of it. I've also had to not be so available anymore, spreading myself too thin, being too accessible actually makes a difference. So having to, pay attention to that, even if it's not being taken advantage of, putting that type of energy out in so many spaces is expensive. So just being mindful of that. And that also ties back to like how we take care of ourselves and what we do with the challenges and everything. So yeah.
WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made Mr. EZ BlueZ. T. Montgomery is with us on the show. T,
Yep.
Where is you in 2025?
That's a question.
I'm international.
I like that.
So,
I like that. I like that.
November 13th, I'm going out to London to be in 2 London Week fashion shows I was invited to.
Congrats. Nice. All right. That's great to hear. All right. Continue.
And so
I like this.
I decided, especially, I've always seen myself as a world citizen. And again, with the scaling up and the growth, I want to be an international brand or figure or whatever. Anyway, so I'm taking this opportunity of taking those shows in London, and I decided I'm going to stay in Europe for the month, which is a crazy step, but something that I've said I wanted for myself is to be able to visit places a month at a time and tap in. And my son is older now, so I can bring him for part of it, but for the part he can't be there, he at least understands what's going on.
Right.
All right, cool.
but yeah, so my goal, I was originally going to stay in London for the full month, but now I'm going to break it down. So I'll do the first week in London, and we're going to shoot out to Paris, and then
Mm.
Prague. My cousin is a model and performance artist out in Prague. So I'm trying to be out there for one of his shows or something, and hopefully like style him for his show or something
Right.
like that. And then I want to do Amsterdam. Amsterdam is just a me part. But
I get it. That's a me part too. I'll be honest with you. I'm glad you're going to Amsterdam. I hope you make many memories you can't remember. In Amsterdam, I think is very important. Um, but I really am interested to see like kind of your color palette against the Prague fields, because we talk about Prague, we're automatically thinking like tough grays, different aspects there. So to see your color palette there will be rather refreshing. And maybe we can get him in touch with Mardal, see what goes on there.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever connections we can make.
All right.
So my goal though is to really go out there and tap in with the creative entrepreneurs, the style scene, but even more so with the boutiques and the high-end concept stores to talk to them about product placement. So hopefully I can leave there with, my product in a few stores by the end of that month.
Right.
And continue to build there and then do it somewhere else going into next year. So maybe next year I'll hit. My goal for this year was 4 countries. And by the end of that trip, I think I'll be at like 7. But I want to do at least 4, I guess like 4 months next year. 4 1 month trips somewhere just to continue building that. So yeah, next year is a lot of building the brand, expanding my reach, continuing to refine, the quality, to build the team. And honestly, hopefully by the end of next year, I won't be making clothes for people anymore.
Right.
I want to just go back to just creating. And then maybe pick up the customs again when get in spaces like the Met Gala. Stuff like that. Like that's my goal as far as making stuff for people. So that's a little bit of where I see 2025 looking like for me.
Right.
I'm expanding the factory. I love where I'm at now, my studio in Westville. It's such a great community. It's, the art district in New Haven.
Yeah.
There's so much love over there. I love my fellow studio, little building mates. I love Misty from Lotta Studio, who I'm renting the studio from. It's just great over there. So I actually want to keep that, but I do need a larger space at the same time. So I'm sure that'll come together as it needs to come together. But a larger space is also a goal for next year as I'm building this production house and the team, things like that. Over the next 2-3 years, I plan on building this production house. I'm actually in the process of it now. So the scaling up for the threads business, the art business is also for this one. So acquiring equipment, acquiring the seamstresses and the team, but a business separate from what I'm doing now, where other designers or businesses, schools, whatever, can come and get their designs or their uniforms and stuff made with us. So that's something else I'm looking to build, outside of the art business.
Right. All this building, all this amazing infrastructure you're making for the future is inspirational, and I want to take a moment and really thank you for that, because I love anytime I sit down and have a conversation with you, I always leave inspired. I always want to take on a building or outrun a train or something along those lines. But right now, unfortunately, they are starting to pull the curtain on us and state that the producers are going, it's about time for this to be over. All right, guys. But right now, at the end of the show, we want to give all of this time to you, how people can get in contact with you, how they can follow you, how they can invest in you, how they can help you grow, how they can, enjoy the journey. As you continue to talk about your stuff, I just think of that amazing movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, and to understand that we're not actually guaranteed happiness, but we are guaranteed the ability to go out and find that happiness. And you're doing that on an everyday basis. And that is a beautiful thing. So T, it's been an honor and a privilege, but please tell people how they can get in contact with you and how they can watch this always evolving journey that is T Montgomery.
Yes, indeed. So you can find me at threadsbyt.com, TEA like the drink. So there you'll be able to purchase product. You'll be able, actually, if you go right now, because I forgot to take the link off when I was fixing the site, you can actually buy a t-shirt. But so you can go and get the product there. You can see the portfolio, all of my contact information. It's Threads by T on all the socials, or t@threadsbyt.com if you want to email me. But yeah, that's where you find me. So you can definitely support by talking about it, by purchasing something, by sharing the work. Then also, I'm thinking about it. I'm offering sponsorship packages to help with this Europe trip, because the end of that is going to be a documentary and a few other things out of it. So that's another way to support, which I would love and appreciate. But yeah, just find me at Threads by T everywhere. And yeah, I'm looking forward to building with everyone. And thank you both.
Absolutely.
It's always a great experience chopping it up with y'all. I feel like we should see each other more, because I think y'all will make dope friends.
Oh,
I'm down. I'm down. We'll schedule it. We'll schedule it. We'll definitely schedule it.
He's not too far from us, man.
I know, bro.
Not too far, around the corner.
I could walk right through Edgewood Park.
Oh, definitely.
And be there in 25 minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real, but that's fine. And actually, some of my reflection spots are in Edgewood Park. I'll take you to there's the one spot where it's like wooden and they've got like a river that runs through it. It's really, really nice, but it's so quiet. It's not going to have the same type of reflection as East Rock, but it's going to have more of that internal reflection and that solitariness. Nice.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Thank you, T. Appreciate you.
Sure.
WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. Appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know.